Hello and welcome back to LCS Playoffs. It may be a shorter show today as FlyQuest are dismantling Evil Geniuses in this best of 5. Game 1 was close, Game 2 was anything but a good level 1. The dominance in every single lane. FlyQuest have been the better team so far today.
FlyQuest, they're just so industrious. You know, they got started before the minions even spawned. Before the AI is getting to work, FlyQuest are getting to work. IgNar over the back of the Dragon Pit. Boom, first blood. He's also there early on the support roam. With PowerOfEvil, they zoned him out from that fight. They get 2 kills. They just snowballed so effectively and have put a stop to Evil Geniuses at every turn. The drafts have also been extremely good from FlyQuest. You know, the Swain early we mentioned multiple times, but even the Gragas, you know, as another angle coming in, another surprise, a little bit of a pick there, not really respected by EG, and they get punished for it.
And EG move on to a Mordekaiser ban now, which again is actually a pretty solid pick in Hecarim overall. So if EG really want to keep playing that one champion, well, a Mordekaiser ban does make sense for that one. You're seeing Marksman ban come through for FlyQuest yet again. This time they are dropping the Callista off the table as well, saying, we think you still want to play that one, even though the Xayah was pretty solid from Bang. And we get the instant Sett pickup. This time Evil Geniuses still highly prizing. And this champs looks a whole lot like Game 2's.
Yeah, even though the Sett was nerfed, I mean, it's been used so well by both Solo and Santorin. EG still prizing that as a takeaway pick. But Santorin right back on the Volibear. He's had success with it already. You know, a lot of the early plays have been super successful. Has kept himself alive the entire series as well, as stated by the analyst. That's kind of the infinite KDA for superstar assist jungler Santorin so far.
Yeah, 1-0-29. EG going to go for a new look here. It was Xayah Rakan last time. Now it's going to be Senna, Tahm, Kench. I think this can be very, very good. I think it really does work with the dive composition. The question is, can FlyQuest answer what I'm actually guessing to be a dive comp based on these picks? Can they make things happen with this one? So what's the third pick going to be? Are they going to grab? Well, they can't get Mordekaiser like they had gotten in Game 2. That one is gone, so they're going to grab Renekton early on, claim this top lane pick before it's banned away, and try to give Solo a lot of individual agency.
Yeah, because they left up both the Gangplank and the Rumble, so Solo's kind of throwing it down here already. All right, do you really want to pick the Gangplank into my Renekton? We are going to try and dive you, kill you early. Renekton Volibear is such an incredible 2v2. No matter what EG try and run on the top side. There's the Gangplank bans coming through. Will they also throw the Rumble up there? I feel like that should be the other one from FlyQuest, but Rumble's also pretty easily punished with that 2v2.
Yeah, I'm curious what Hecarim Renekton looks like, just because I'm hyping on it, but it's all that Huni has played so far this series, and it feels like that's clearly where they are looking. Right now, though, support bans are coming through for Evil Geniuses. The Gragas from last game, of course, is still available. We'll see if that comes through at some point, but Bard, obviously, highly prized, very, very strong. Thresh, which was played in Game 1, was also pretty effective, so we'll see what comes through.
Yeah, IgNar, I generally want to see him on some sort of playmaking champion. He's been so good on Rakan, Gragas, all these types of things with the engage. So see what they pull out here. Azir banned away from Goldenglue. Maybe he goes with the Zoe or something then instead. I mean, they do have the Senna TK kind of safety bottom lane. So Goldenglue is going to have to do a large amount of damage if they want to kind of, you know, have those mid-game team fights. They'll be able to pull them off.
Yeah, consistent damage right now not on the EG comp. Even if Sett is top lane, you still don't do all that much even with the Triforce. So Corki going to come through on the EG side to ban consistent DPS on the backside here. FlyQuest, I don't believe, have any reason to early pick Ahri. I think they are better poised grabbing their support and waiting, but you know, don't mind the hover. Rakan, yeah, not a huge shock right here. Very good engage tools. Rakan, Renekton, and Volibear. Even Ashe over the top can really get in there. Of course, Tahm Kench can keep people safe, and Senna can shield for the counter engage.
Yeah, and Rakan also can do level 1s, jumping over walls. Just saying, EG might have to keep their eyes on a couple of those walls just in case. I doubt FlyQuest would do a similar play back-to-back, but now you really got to be hyper-focused on those options.
All right, well, Syndra is left up as the most common Orianna counter pick, and with Orianna locked in for Goldenglue, of course, this is still go forward, dive, find your matchups. Is it 3 Hecarims in a row? there's on it, like based on composition, this actually would make sense. This is sort of what the comp looks like. Senna is great when your team is diving in, and no, I like this. Is it gonna be locked in? He flinches and goes to Gnar into the Renekton.
Yeah, I really would have liked that too because EG are showing so much utility already. Senna, a lot of the later game is, comes out of her healing also. She does have a really good range scaling. Orianna with the extra shields and tons of utility you can bring with playmaking with this champion later would have been cool to see. Huni has played a lot of Gnar throughout his career, throughout his years, even at Worlds with SKT. And he's going to be doing it once again here. In mini form, you do have to be worried about flashes coming through with the Renekton Volibear, because that can be a really scary combo. If they get a flash stun on you, you are dead. Other than that, though, you should be able to keep your distance. Hyper did get some buffs for attack speed, so Gnar can utilize it to be really annoying and try and keep your range with it. Your boomerang spam allows you to also play defensively if you are on weak side. Your jungler's already down bottom and that there's going to be pressure around. So it is a pretty versatile pick, but later into the game, you also have to play around that rage bar and coordinating with your team.
Sure.
So there's a lot more things to think about.
A lot of things to think about for sure. I want to point out that this is 3 games in a row that I believe Huni has gotten himself counter pick, and this is the first time of those 3 his champion is actually favored to win a game of League of Legends against his lane opponent. Not saying the matchup in lane can't be the case, but overall game impact, we saw the Shen beating a dive comp, for example. All that stuff can make things really, really tough right here. So now we expect Gnar to do well into Renekton in lane, or at least pretty decently. And then also, obviously, teamfight prowess with the comp around. This is the first time I feel Huni is actually favored to do well. So I'm curious to see if this is what it takes for EG to come around. Again, we expect Syndra to be good into Orianna, but Syndra was heavily nerfed, and if she's not given first blood at level 1, if she's not given a double kill at level 4, you might see Goldenglue having a much better time in this lane. And EG, I do think, have a draft that we can get behind and be excited for and see if they can pull back the series.
Yeah, they're going to have to. It is FlyQuest's new motto, the hashtag go deep, but it is EG that have to dig deep right now. Because they are backs against the walls. They're going to have to go down to the lower bracket. It's looking really scary for them right now.
We're going to hope that EG can play again in this one. A win in Game 3 means they can play a Game 4. Otherwise, they are down to the lower bracket with a date against 100 Thieves. And they will play that this weekend, by the way. Dignitas versus TSM is tomorrow. It is tomorrow at the same time and place, off the fact that, yes, indeed, Golden Guardians 3-0'd TSM, and EG are about to face that same fate, staring down the barrel of a 3-0 at the hands of FlyQuest, with the Battle of 100 Thieves, who are just constantly taking notes. How can we get someday to clap Huni as hard as Solo has been? How can we get everything else to go well with Ryomo and the rest of the crew? EG need to win to keep themselves in the chance at holding on to an upper bracket spot. FlyQuest looking to knock them down here and now.
I immediately started laughing because we talked about it in Champ Select, but Zeyzal is watching that wall, but like a hawk behind the dragon pick. It's like, all right, IgNar, you're not making this move again. He does have a lot of solo queue as well, but it is going to be a normal start this time around. No possibilities of those level 1 invades anymore. Svenskeren and Santorin both starting bottom side. So if Santorin really wants to, you can do blue buff, Gromp, red buff on Volibear. You do it really quick because it's just single target camps with your machete, and you can immediately run up to try and punish Huni. Gnar can push Renekton early. It's super annoying with the range advantage and the boomerangs, but like I was saying, if you get up there with a jungler with flash, you get up there at level 3 with red buff, they can double flash on the mini Gnar, and even if the other jungler is there, you win the 2v2 because the double flash, you can layer your CC, you can kill a mini Gnar before he can transform. Huni has worked up his rage bar though, and we'll see how well he can keep it. Of course, last hitting in lane, just going to try and save the autos for that.
The Huni fleet footwork going to be running around trying to kite and keep dealing the damage. 11 out of 12 CS is going to be the start. Good job, Solo. Started with Dash, by the way, to get in and out of those fights and get CS without taking too much damage. That was the adaptation for this matchup.
It's coming.
Stun right there. And he can start going for the heals when needed.
So
Santorin nearby.
They saw Huni walk down to the Tribush. If Santorin really wanted to pull that gank off, then he could have run the long route through the river. But it made me think that they didn't actually want to go for the gank. His whole purpose there was to kill the ward. They knew the ward was there. He just went to efficiently sweep it. And look what it's causing. It's causing some extra time. Svenskeren kind of hovers up there waiting for it. Now, possible fight over the bottom crab. Mid lane, more push for Goldenglue, so looks like it should be advantage Svenskeren in the crab fight.
Yeah, gets the ward knocked down as well, so Svenskeren is there. Goldenglue, as you mentioned, gets the push. So goodbye, Santorin. Get away from this one as they both kill the ward. 4 camps apiece, but now the 5th camp goes to Svenskeren, getting that one first, and it is Santorin now running to the other side of the map to look for wolves and second scuttle or something, and it's not going to be really all that exciting for the guy.
Yeah, his bottom lane is also pushed in, so he's like, team gap, can't get the crab either. Double crab is pulled off for EG as Bang and Zeyzal, they're able to push on up. Pretty easy to take it for themselves as well. Always feels nice to get the double crab for the extra safety and leave Santorin with a lot fewer options because he did kind of reverse clear back down here. No more camps for him to take, only his Krugs are up. So you just kind of sit there with no extra camps to take, and he's kind of forcing the possible gank there onto Orianna, thinks better of it, and just has to return to the Gromp.
I really like this laning by Bang and Zeyzal. This is hard to do if you don't get really good farm, but Bang's able to recall off of 5 waves, right? The wave number 3, 6, 9, 12, those are the cannon waves. You want to recall in the face of a cannon wave, which means you want to recall on 5 or the 5th or 8th wave, right? And he manages to recall on the 5th wave with enough money for a pickaxe. You do not get that without very good CS. 32 CS is a really good mark by Bang. Well done to him. If you don't have the mechanics of Bang, you're not going to get that good of a recall. And so he's able to get in lane at a decent time. He lost 3 melee minions, and now he's up a pickaxe in the laning phase, and Turtle isn't going to have a recall this good in sight for a while, and it's going to give a lot of lane pressure. I think we should expect an early Drake out of Svenskeren off of bot pressure. This should look really good on the EG side.
Yep, they're able to get it slow pushing back towards them. Ooh, nice little trade here from Huni, whittling Solo down. Probably going to force a teleport recall as Huni's doing a good job keeping up that pressure.
Yeah, looking good right now. Of course, Solo already down that potion to heal back up to half HP. Svenskeren does have a reason to be top side yet again as he's clearing through his top jungle once again without any ward coverage. You know, theoretically, right, a flash stun could be some decent damage. Solo at half health feels safe enough with his own flash available. Dodges away the boomerang. He's okay, but we can really see Huni is putting the hurt down right there, and Solo's trying his best to pick up the scraps. And to be fair, he's pretty much equal in CS, so not too bad for him just yet.
And because Huni has been able to charge up his Rage Bar, he's so close to turning into Mega that it's not as scary as we were talking about before, where the Flash would be instant death on Mini.
Though.
Yeah,
he has the ult for this place, so Santorin's just stunned to the wall. You ganked a Mega Gnar! You are just dead! This is something you could know about, and well done right there. The XP could have been tracked, but a good play by Huni. Gets the stun to the wall. Good follow by Svenskeren. For the first time all series, EG gets first blood.
Big difference between Mini and Mega, and that's why Huni wasn't scared. They even had pings down on the river looking for it. Huni just turns to the juicy jungler coming up. He hits level 6 off of this minion. He's able to get that last melee kill, immediately turns for the kill onto the level 4 jungler. So nice here for EG because they had really been getting destroyed in this series. Now they've got a nice early game to work off of.
Alrighty, so Svenskeren going to feel a bit more comfortable off the fact that he's got these same boots that his opposing champion has in Santorin. Slightly better recall, at least more gold in the pockets right now. When Huni finally takes his recall, he'll have 400 more gold than his opponent. And there we go, 640 into the game. Bot lane under turret constantly. Turtle, thankfully for himself, has teleport to get back because, look, he's going to recall, he's going to try to recall, and the wave is in front of his turret. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better until he finally recalls and gets items. EG going to get the very easy Drake. They are winning in top lane. They are winning in bottom lane. This is looking really good right now for Evil Geniuses in Game 3.
And I do like that Goldenglue is going with the more scaling Orianna option, where you start the tier early, heading towards the Seraphs. It does have a little bit weaker of a mid game than your other mana options, but I just love Seraphs so much with the transform, especially with Orianna having the extra shield for yourself later. Lets you use your ball and your positioning so much more offensively.
Yeah, and that's going to be fun, especially if you can stay alive and get those shields and everything else. Going to feel comfortable there. PowerOfEvil just doing well in the farm game. PoE is winning lane, and that is a pretty much uninterrupted mid lane. This has been straight 1v1, and PoE getting the better of it to the tune of 10 CS at under 8 minutes. First recalls come through, first TPs come through as Solo gets Ninja Tabby and double longsword, so able to withstand a lot more of the damage. And Huni, he's like, well, I'm going to recall anyway. Let's just burn the Mega Gnar ulti. Who cares? Knocking down some minions. I'm going to come back and grab my items too.
Yeah, should just be answered pretty quickly too with the teleport. Solo's pushing, fast pushing in on that wave to try and force it. Did you see if that was a? Yeah, there's the teleport. Okay.
Yeah,
so
there's like no way.
Yeah, so there's going to be just small desync here for FlyQuest in their favor for Solo, but not going to be a very big deal. Yeah, support roam timing.
Okay, here we go up to the top side. This is 8.5 minutes in, a bit, normal for Rift Herald spawn as they are doing battle back and forth. Zeyzal knocked into the air, but not a lot of CC to be had, really, not a lot of damage to come through. And it's going to be safety as, well, it's going to be Blue handed over, no problem to Goldenglue as Zeyzal just sits there and gains XP in the mid lane.
And again, this is the 8-minute Rift Herald timing here that they are going to try and force. I think with Renekton with a fully stacked Rage Bar feels pretty good about this fight. Huni's trying to work up the possible transformation for himself, and you can kind of hold his Rage Bar right over Mega until they get the clear on these wards to actually start up the fight.
All right. Well, 700 gold lead right now. Evil Geniuses just a little bit more gold than they get just from the first blood itself. That was 600 of that difference. And Svenskeren, Steel Feeling Conqueror on the side of the map. Easy push top side for Huni. Of course, components of Cleaver. Way better recall than Solo had. Thank you, First Blood, for that one. Gonna feel real comfortable. Gonna walk down. Gonna grab that Herald. And honestly, there honestly should be a fair bit of pressure in the top side. This feels like the most clear-cut matchup advantage. Huni, I think, is favored here. He's going to keep Solo under turret constantly. I do want to see that Herald show up in the next maybe minute or so to knock down more of that turret and let Huni really keep Solo under the gun.
Yeah, if you can accelerate the split pushing options by taking down a lot of these turret plates, opening up the entire lane with a Rift Herald to execute it, that would be huge. But look at this bottom side, because there was not going to be an answer from FlyQuest on the Rift Herald. Santorin was already headed down to the bottom side, so they weren't going to contest it, threatening the possible dive with the level 6 ultimate from Volibear. He ends up waiting down there for a super long time, all the way through the Rift Herald, through the reset, and now with Zeyzal returning with Bang, it's just, there's too much safety with Tahm Kench, and they end up not getting anything out of that waiting time. And just look at the CS discrepancy that's opened up in the jungle. A lot of this waiting for Santorin is hurting. Level 6 now to level 7. Decent amount head there for Svenskeren.
Yeah, nice stuff right there. Gotta say, props to Solo for growing an 6 CS lead in the bottom lane off of even after getting first blooded, or at least his junk getting first blooded, and making that difficult. But here we go. There is the Herald summon. There is plate number 2 taking decent damage, and if they play aggressively enough for it, they can knock that plate before the charge. Even if they don't, it's still going to be Herald charge for another 160 gold apiece. Sadly for him, the minion wave is right there, so this is really awkward. They are at least going to knock down the Krugs. The Herald's not turning around, but Santorin's coming around, and they might miss the charge because of the timing of the minion wave. There's another attack coming in. They might miss the turret damage, and they do. That is such a heartbreak for EG, and an arrow to make it worse. This could be turning around rapidly. Ult over the top for Bang, but is it going to be enough? Svenskeren's going to die. That is a heartbreak. EG should have gotten a turret plate. Instead, they get killed. Shockwave not going to be enough damage. FlyQuest, they keep getting away with it.
That is ridiculous, Freak. The only thing you have to worry about is minion placement. IgNar now is going to run for his life as well. Zeyzal, another tongue lash.
It's damage. I don't think you get the kill, but it's a lot of damage right there. He has the Tahm Kench behind in case it's going to go badly. It's going to force a recall out. That sucks. That was 300 gold they could have earned. In the day, it's not going to be the case. Well played by Santorin and Solo to knock that one down. Great arrow by WildTurtle. The better global marksman ult. And now we go back to the game state. It is a gold lead for EG, but the wind just got let out of their sails.
I guess we need to go over this again. Actually put out a video earlier on, but your minions, the minions are the only thing that is going to put a stop to that Rift Herald, and you can just watch your minions spawning and where they're walking down your minion wave, down your lane, to know where your opponents are. Even if you don't have vision in the opponent lane, the minions are mirrored because they both spawn from the Nexus at the exact same time, and they walk the the same speeds this early into this game, so it's pretty easy to work around the positioning of your own minions to know where they are. And WildTurtle getting stopped on that wave was so big.
Yeah, really, really big stuff. So, still gonna say, EG, 1-0 and Drake's up in gold, and I feel like they're comp a decent amount for late game as well. So, despite the heartbreaks there, I still want to reframe the conversation as EG doing better than they have in most of the games this series. They got the first blood. They've been making good plays. Again, I like Huni's matchup. He's back in the lane with Digitabby and a Black Cleaver. He's going to have that right now. Ruin King, of course, not done for solo, so this Gnar can start doing a lot of work. But solo is up 20 CS. Like, solo's actually laning it very well, despite, a slightly awkward matchup. He's doing a great job up there in that lane, and we'll see what can happen next.
And he's going Blade of the Ruin King. I love seeing Renektons go Blade of the Ruin King early. I know in LPL, a lot of them do go Black Cleaver as well super early on. There are definitely some that do Blade of the Ruin King, but it is just so scary once you get first item, Blade of the Ruin King completed with him, fully stacked Rage W. This is just another look at them popping the Rift Trail. They get the eye hit, then Turtle, as you mentioned. Ashe arrow from the fountain, just right on target as well, and they fully burst down Svenskeren. No haymaker. Huni goes over. PowerOfEvil does have to flash, but no counter kill or anything comes through from EG, and their objective nullified.
All right, FlyQuest now the ones looking at this Drake. They're not stacking them too fast on either side, but Drake number 2 is on the map at 14 minutes, and FlyQuest taking this one with Santorin soloing it. Looks like no one's going to be really answering that one. Senna walking back to lane, and Turtle already has it under the turret, so looks like that'll be a easy 1v0 kill, and FlyQuest will tie the Drake score here. 300 gold lead still holding for Evil Geniuses, but now that the Drakes are tied, it's not as big of a lead as you may have expected from earlier on. Turret plates have dropped, and I believe the second turret plate was already taken by Huni in the top side, so a bit more gold earned. And now looking at even more turret damage as Svenskeren is there. TP coming in for solo. Now Gnar is going to have ulti for that one, but they don't want to go for the play. Instead, they're going to spot IgNar. That is a charm. That is a double knockup here as well. It's 3 up on the top side. Hello to PowerOfEvil. And that's going to be, kills over the board. 2 more picked up. FlyQuest continue to be the better team. Meanwhile, bot lane turret's gone. Turtle is slowed, though. He's in danger. He's going to be rooted up as well. Here comes Goldenglue. They're going to have the damage, just barely. Bang picks that one up. Turtle is back in the graveyard.
Yeah, EG do get a counter kill on the strong side of the map for them, using their mid lane teleport down there at the same timing. But FlyQuest play was just better and earlier setup. IgNar, again, they just chain CC 100% to 0 this set. Once again, there's so many options. Renekton stun, Syndra stun right out of the charm and knockup from Rakan here. Just look at it. Svenskeren doesn't get a chance to do anything. Charm into knockup, into stun. You see the bar charging up. Whenever you see that grip bar fully charged up, you're like, oh, is there going to be any sort of turnaround? Senna ultimate comes through. There could be a shield to turn around or something that happens, but no, they get bursted down. Then we see WildTurtle. They do get caught up there with the slow. So WildTurtle, you got to leave him. And Santorin immediately calls it off. Good luck, buddy, in the 1v3 piece.
Yeah, can't hit it, though. They got the turret down there, so still well done to him. Turtle, of course, you can see his farm lead about +10. He's got the assist from the cross-map play, which is really nice. And hey, with the turret kill, it is FlyQuest up in gold, only team with a turret, and they're up a kill, so well done to that squad. Farm leads in most roles at this point. And now EG playing around the top side yet again. The Herald is up. We'll see if they get anything for that. Otherwise, FlyQuest shoving in the mid lane first. Goldenglue doing his best to wave clear. Archangel's done. Merc Tread's coming in because you're against Syndra and Ashe. Makes total sense to buy that item. And Herald's going to reset one time.
All right, FlyQuest moving in with the extra gold spent too. Plenty of control wards down. It's so scary right now if you're looking at even possibly contesting for EG, so they just don't. They are already sending Bang down bottom side. FlyQuest, another objective picked up here. They really do have a lot to wait on here. Seraph's not transformed yet for Goldenglue. Trying to fight themselves out of a deficit. Instead of contesting, just try and trade stuff on the other side of the map.
Let's see what they can trade, though, because right now, FlyQuest are taking everything that they would want. You've got no one answering bot lane farm right now, no Drake to pick up, and we'll say at least the Herald is theirs. And on the FlyQuest side, I should say, it'll be Turtle running back down to catch that wave that Bang is pushing in. Let's see what the next play is going to be. Drake spawning in 2 minutes, Baron just after that one, although 20-minute Baron doesn't seem likely for either of these compositions. Top lane again, Solo and Huni doing damage to one another. Blade of the Rune King is completed. Solo has plenty of damage as a result. FlyQuest playing defensive a bit now. Svenskeren wants in, looks for the stun, not going to find either one, but the root means the dunk means the damage means a big play on PowerOfEvil, and he's going to be shockwaved, and Goldenglue has found himself that kill. IgNar cannot just barely dodge away as Zeyzal shows up for the tongue lash, and EG have 2 kills on the board. They get the gold right back where it was before, and they're ready to push in the mid lane.
Yep, they've got a minion wave to work with. Huge play now with 2 members of FlyQuest down. EG can break open this map. Their first turret of the game is mid-turret. This is huge. You can lay behind wards now through the enemy jungle. There's a dragon coming up in just over 1 minute. Not only are they going to get that teamfight victory, plus the safety of the mid tower down, but they set themselves up for a dragon play. Beautiful deep vision now for them all through that blue side of the jungle.
Beautiful stuff. Is this enough for EG to turn the series around? The answer is definitely maybe. I realize
groundbreaking stuff here.
Groundbreaking play-by-play analysis, by the way. Plat 1 flex queue, by the way, I'm gaining elo right now, is there's a fight in the top side. Solo's going to keep his turret barely alive. Huni not quite going for the autos on it. He's respecting Solo, going for chip damage on the Renekton. It will finally drop, and Huni never attacked the turret. He got no gold for that turret kill. The 250 went nowhere, but it is still going to be the turret in the mid lane taking damage.
Yeah, FlyQuest are like, oh, nice vision you got deep inside our blue side. But if they can make a power move on mid, they take down that mid turret. They're getting mirrored vision, and they get it through red quadrant of EG set up here. So FlyQuest will have positioning as well. Honestly, though, it was a really nice Orianna combo in the last setup from EG. Yep. So they're going to look for similar things. Svenskeren's ultimate for Sett coming back up very quickly here. And if he can look for that positioning again, whoa, IgNar is super deep. He's looking for one of his classic IgNar flanks. Can he get to the backside? There are flashes on both carries about to be available. Goldenglue is just barely up. Plus he has the extra safety of the shield.
IgNar going for the play, gets a knockup, burns the stopwatch. A stun on Zeyzal means absolutely nothing, and IgNar goes back to his team to stay alive. FlyQuest do not get much out of the engage, and that is several Earth's ult burned. Huni, by the way, ready to go Gnar, has the ulti up, has flash as well. This is the power spike for EG, is a level 13 Gnar, and that means it's time for FlyQuest to run away. They looked for the opportunity, they tried their hardest, it didn't matter. Zeyzal had a QSS as his first major item, and it meant there was no engage. So EG get Drake number 2, and definitely maybe can win this game.
And attention to vision for EG. They send Sett to go try and find IgNar. They know with this player, IgNar's always looking for these big, mid-game flanks that he's going to pull off with Rakan. Yes, it is his iconic champion, but it's also something that you need to check all of your corners for. They do just that. And if you have a swing and a miss of the Rakan engage like that, he only gets Sett super far away from anybody, and then the Tahm Kench, that's going to be an abortion on that team fight. Everybody call it off. And they are going to have a full reset. They don't have, anything to get through this Gnar. Huni would just be able to lock them up through the jungle.
Yep, absolutely. So we get the scoreboard somewhat on the screen down there. This is the picks and bans. These are the champions that were played, what was on the board right now. And I want to kind of talk about something really quickly, because one of the questions I had seen asked after Game 2 is, are EG tilted? After Game 2 was a complete stomp and nothing worked at all, is this over? Is this going to be even worse than Game 2? Are they done for? And clearly not, right? Clearly some really great plays were made right there. The Gnar, I think, so far has worked out decently. The first blood has worked out. And even when FlyQuest started getting control back, they started making the plays, they got some objectives picked up, some fights going their way, EG still found the way to counterpunch, still found the place to engage. They just got the most recent Drake. Basically it means they won the most recent fight there as well by the fact that FlyQuest burned cooldowns and got nothing. So EG certainly in this game, they are fighting back, and I could definitely see them winning Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see some more fight, right?
Yeah.
Especially since this is not, you're out of the tournament. There's still another best of 5 to play. So even if you're not going to win the series, you still need to have some sort of victory to keep up morale heading into the next game. So EG, they are set up pretty well here. They do have a lot of options. They're about to get the Muramana transformation in addition to the Seraphs that has already transformed for Goldenglue, and they already successfully utilize some of those combos, with Orianna Sett. So we'll see if they can get those big AoE combos. Huni still on the Gnar, much better performance from him, was able to turn around the early gank. He has played so much Gnar that he's not one of the top laners I'm worried about managing their Gnar transformation rage bar. So if the rest of the team can coordinate well around that, I do agree with you. I think EG set up at least way better than game 1 or 2 in this one.
Yeah, and I like their overall team fight look, right? You've got a lot of good stuff there. I'm liking Gnar. I like Sett Dunk. I like Orianna Shockwave. The persistent damage is not bad. Senna often gets called like a hard support, but she does pretty decent damage. It's kind of upfront. A lot of it just comes from the fact that you're going to Q auto somebody and you do, I don't know, like 15% current health or something, like some pretty high amount of upfront damage. But the cooldown on that passive is pretty long. You're getting it kind of once per champion per fight for most fights. You don't often get a second one when it matters anymore, but that still means if you're going, Gnar ulti, Shockwave, Senna combo, that's going to kill your first target most times, right? It's going to look pretty solid in a lot of cases. So, like, Senna is going to contribute. If you completely withstand that damage, if you're so tanky that doesn't happen, then yeah, you would kind of wish you had like a Vayne or a Jinx or a Trist or the other common marksman like Ashe down there. But for most team fights, I think Senna is completely serviceable. And this is not like, oh, it's a one carry comp. I want to make sure that's like pretty clear to viewers.
And something that people often overlook because they're so focused on damage numbers and marksman getting kills is the utility that Senna brings with the healing and the shields for those team fights that you're mentioning. They're actually really big when you're fighting this way. If you're the team that gets the engage, if you have Gnar, Sett, and Orianna, you have a really good front line for trying to control the battlefield. Renekton and Volibear actually have a kind of hard time navigating it. That's why they have so much pressure on the bottom lane for FlyQuest to perform with their Ashe and with their IgNar looking for flanks. If you're unable to do that, Orianna shields, Senna shields, and heals will eventually win them the team fight, through the front to back and having the extra sustain for their front line and their combo.
Absolutely the case. And one thing I want to point out as well, there's a couple of other factors that I think are interesting on a sort of micro level. One is Blade of the Ruined King Ashe does not do very well against frontliners that get shields and heals later on. Most of your damage is on the current health on hit damage. And so when you've got a 20% hit point Sett who then puts the shield up and then gets Orianna shielded and Senna healed, well, you're still doing damage based on that 20%, so you're not breaking those shields, you're not overpowering the heals, you kind of stop killing. On the other side, though, you have Renekton with the Empowered W who gets to break the Sett shield. And so when you get him low and he goes, Haymaker, you're like, nope, back to HP, and we're going to kill you anyway.
Yeah, if you have your rage bar stacked up at the right timing for that, that's why the Renekton shield counter to me is always one of it's the more finicky. It's when people mention shield breaking, I'm way more on the Blitzcrank side. We're like, all right, great. You have on command, use your ultimate, boom, that's great. Good answer. The Renekton one is definitely more difficult to pull off because oftentimes you need to use your rage early on in the fights. But when you do see it happen, it's definitely big. And it is super big in 1v1s, a lot of 1v1s as well.
Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about is how much of a backline threat the Renekton Volibear can be. And now that we've seen the game kind of play out a little bit, we haven't really seen solo get into team fights yet. There really haven't been real team fights yet in this game. It's been a lot of 2v2 scraps with global ults coming across. But that's one thing we've seen, right, is Renekton off decent farm, which solo totally has, just like runs in there, has like one bit of help from a teammate, and Senna has to run away, or, Aphelios has to run away, and they can't really get too much about this one. Yeah, Senna has very low base health. She doesn't build any armor in her normal item build. Like, she is under some threat, but there is a Tahm Kench. Like, at the end of the day, Renekton can dive in there and do his very best to kill Bang, but he probably shouldn't ever get that kill if Zeyzal's on the ball. And that means that it's one less sort of win condition that FlyQuest have in the actual team fights. Tahm Kench also good against Syndra. The ult's pretty well telegraphed. Chomp, untargetable, no damage. Thank you very much. Zeyzal can counteract a lot of what FlyQuest want to do.
Yeah. By the way, for everybody still paying attention here, or starting to tune in now, we have all the players actually experiencing connectivity issues right now. So League Ops is investigating. They're seeing if we need to chrono break. So just a bit longer till we get some more information on this. Meanwhile, for this game, though, Game 3, this is the final game for EG. They have to win out here. This has to be a reverse sweep for them. So no more mistakes will be allocated. They cannot lose track of this Rakan. I think marking IgNar is one of their highest priorities. That's why the attention to detail in the vision game that we saw in the last setup was so big for them. It was such a big thing for me to see an improvement for EG. You have to keep your spotting on IgNar as well as the Ashe arrow to see that coming so you can dodge it.
Absolutely the case. So going to be fun one to watch for. Now, of course, we do still have this pause. So as we resolve these issues with that, we're going to hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk. See ya.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. As they explained, players are facing some connectivity issues, so League Ops is investigating whether or not a chrono break will be necessary. We'll keep you apprised and updated of all the info as it comes. But, gents, right in the middle of Game 3 where EG needs to put 3 wins together in a row, they've got themselves within striking distance.
Yeah, it's been more impressive than I thought it would be. I thought that they would have had their mental boomed a little bit, but they're actually doing okay. It's even more surprising considering that a lot of these plays look bad. They're trying to play around Huni all early game, and it wasn't actually. They were getting countered out quite a bit, but they're actually still in an okay spot.
It's brutal that we had to start with this, but
we're like, EG's doing all right. They run the Rift Herald replay.
This replay was poorly timed with my point.
Yeah. But
this one's not any better.
Yeah, this one's not great either. This is the IgNar room too.
EG's doing pretty well. Look at them fail to use the Rift Herald and then get slammed 3v2
They're doing
top lane.
They're doing a great job playing around Huni.
All right, here we go. This is EG coming out on top,
Here we go.
right?
This is what we wanted.
Yeah, we get a TP from Orianna, so they actually are able to trade a kill back here. Santorin just says, "Peace, Turtle, you're on your own." And this is
not
when
a KDA
kind of
player.
started turning on. Yeah.
Well, see, the first death is okay because that maintains your KDA. He can't get that second. He already had 1 death this game, so he's got to be careful now.
I like this. Good catch around the blue buff.
Yeah, I mean, EG honestly I think is playing a pretty solid game. It does feel like they did decide to kind of double down on Huni. Obviously, unfortunate that the Rift Herald went awry there because Huni's in a pretty good spot. And, with the gold pretty well even, I think EG is actually pretty well set up, to go forward in this game. It's not as though they get hard outscaled. Like, I think that they have a pretty good opportunity to out-team fight FlyQuest down the stretch. FlyQuest isn't on the kind of composition that, is just like game over if they go late, which normally FlyQuest is playing that kind of stuff. Renekton is generally going to fall off. Syndra is not, as strong, I think, as Orianna. I think that both the solo lanes are pretty favorable there. And I do think that the bot lanes are more of a wash. Yes, Senna is fairly low DPS, but Orianna late game is actually quite high. And even Gnar is going to be able to contribute quite a bit of damage to some of those frontliners, I think, come teamfight time, especially assuming, Huni's going a pretty heavy damage build, which he generally likes to do.
And I think their comp still works well even for a 4-1 as well. Obviously, Gnar can stay splitting, but then you have TK to collapse in on the side. Ori has TP. Senna has the global ult. They actually have a lot of tools to support Huni. And they've done a good job of grouping up and contesting Drakes. That last one, they got there. They were able to survive the FlyQuest attempt. And as soon as that didn't work, FlyQuest just pieced out of there and gave them that Mountain Drake. And so now they're on 2 Drakes to 1, I believe it is. And it looks like FlyQuest going to keep having a harder and harder time contesting as long as Huni does manage his Gnar bar correctly, because that's always the big thing about team fighting with Gnar.
It would be a mountain and a fire in their hands and an ocean in the side of on the side of FlyQuest. Sorry, Probably.
Oh, no, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, like Zeyzal was saying, the Syndra and Renekton aren't going to scale like crazy, and the fact that FlyQuest hasn't been stacking Drakes, which is usually something they're pretty good at. Yeah, like Mark said, it's really low Drake game. So this looks like it's going to stall out for a bit. There's no reason to force an unfavorable fight if FlyQuest is there. And if FlyQuest isn't there, now EG has a chance to just keep scaling. So this does look like one of those, turnaround games that if it's going to be an EG win, it's going to be, 35-minute, 40-minute kind of EG win.
Well, cresting the 20-minute mark, and Evil Geniuses does have themselves a slight gold advantage. So all things, point to positive in that regard. I guess then I want to, let's flip the script a little bit and talk about FlyQuest and how they could wrap the series up. Because would you consider this about the time that we should go into panic mode around how our comp scales and what our options are in this game?
I would probably say so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like pretty concerning as far as team fights, especially. You know, if you're relying upon Ashe Arrow anytime you're playing, you know, with Ashe Arrow as a main form of engage against Tahm Kench, I think that's pretty concerning. You know, Zeyzal got a QSS very early on, so he doesn't even have to worry about that. You know, you can't really go for him. So I do think it's going to be largely based upon, you know, having engages from multiple angles. Can you get a flank from your Renekton and your Rakan at the same time? You know, charm up and CC multiple people and burst someone down. Maybe while Tahm Kench is in CC. You know, it does get more and more difficult. That being said, I still think there's always the opportunity to just straight up out team fight. I still think there's the opportunity to, you know, to like outplay, to get picks in side lanes, you know, try to catch Huni out if he's overextending in a side lane as he often has done in the past. You know, Mark talked about them going to 4-1, and if you can have Ashe, you know, trailing the Renekton and landing an arrow, things like that can net you kills and turn around games. So I don't think it's like completely disastrous, but definitely EG compositionally I think is favored.
Yeah, the thing is with this comp too is there's a lot of utility on the side of FlyQuest. You know, as I was talking about the Tahm Kench, but also the Senna healing, the Orianna shields as well. Like, if you do try and go for this pick comp, which I think is generally what this wants to do, where the Ashe Arrow lands or the stun lands, and you're able to try and combo and burst someone down, that's going to be really hard, assuming that EG are in decent positioning. Even if you get the flank and Renekton gets a stun on someone, like, does at this point in the game Renekton have enough damage to burst someone? But it seems kind of unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's kind of going against EG in my head is in game 1, they had such a straightforward composition where they're going to dive, and they missed their few opportunities to do it. So right now, I'm kind of concerned that they just don't know the win condition of their composition. So we've explained it's a 4-1 composition. There's ways to kite out the Ashe Arrow. But the question is, like, can they actually do it? Like, I thought they had an easier comp in game 1 to play. Now they kind of have to, you know, kite stuff, make some space, buy time for Gnar. Like, they have to do, like, I feel like a lot of things that they could just drop the ball on. So I think they do have a better outscaling composition, but there's a lot of execution they have to do correctly.
One thing I will say though is with that game 1 comp, it felt like you had to win kind of early, right? Because if Swain gets to a certain point, you can't kill him. If Caitlyn starts getting defensive items, you can't kill her anymore. With this,
Sure.
I think, you know, even if they take a long time to find the right fight, they're kind of chilling, right? If Orianna is going to farm alongside Syndra, you know, if the Gnar is farming alongside the Renekton, I think that is okay. I do agree that, you know, maybe how you play out the fights can be more complex, but they also are going to have more opportunities to do it compared to game 1, where it kind of felt like you had that one dragon fight where they had their solo laners on opposite side of Turtle, they didn't engage, and then it's like, oh, you probably lose now. This doesn't feel like it's that kind of game.
Yeah, that just left a sour taste because they had a ward, they saw it all, and that seemed like, you know, if you're a coach or if I'm a coach in the background, that's what I'm saying. As soon as you see them grouped, you all press R together and you go in. So with this one, I'm like, I wouldn't know how to coach it as well because there's a lot of moving pieces. But I do think the biggest thing for EG going is, Gnar's in a good position and he's in a good matchup where it's only going to get better for him.
Well, there you go. I have a quick update for everybody. We are going to be chrono breaking the game, so I did just receive word from officials. So they're within that process currently. And again, we'll get you back in the game as quickly as we possibly can.
No, I demand more time to talk, James. Keep it paused.
We still have more time to talk, Mark,
That's
because we're not quite going back to game yet. They're in the process of chrono breaking the game. But what I'm gleaning from all of this is that essentially, while the demands of execution for EG's comp have increased in this game as compared to previous ones, they are afforded more time to find that execution because of the scaling that is provided by some of their champions, and of course the fact that they're even in gold currently.
Right, and I think it's also the kind of thing where as the game goes on, they'll keep getting natural pressure through split pushing, and it actually puts the onus a lot more on FlyQuest. So to Prawley's point about in game 1 where they have this flanking comp that wants to dive, they're the ones who kind of need to pull the trigger, so to speak. And here they can actually make it so FlyQuest has to engage into them, because otherwise they're just going to keep snowballing objectives. They're down to poke around fights. They have better healing in the form of Senna. They have shields and stuff to risk it. So like, I think it will be the kind of thing where FlyQuest needs to make plays to come back in the game. EG can just group up with the objective, fight for the Drake, split back up for 5 minutes, group up, split, and they can keep kind of going for this pattern, and FlyQuest needs to find a way to disrupt that.
I do want to call out just a couple of fun statistics from the game at its around 20-minute mark. Pretty fun.
I'll rate them.
It's not like outrageously fun.
I'll give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Or like, you know.
How about you tell me? You tell me how fun this stat is.
I'm going to rate them.
So Huni has done 10.5k damage in this game. The next highest isn't even 5k damage across any player in this game aside from
That's
Huni.
pretty fun.
It's a Gnar, though.
He's double everyone
Yeah,
else's
I mean,
damage.
Renekton's a punching bag at this point in this matchup. Like, he's not going to get close once Gnar gets some CDR into his queue.
Yeah, Gnar versus tanks is always like,
Yeah.
I'm the highest damage in the game because I've been hitting you for literally the entire game. It's like Ezreal, like hitting people with Qs the entire game. It's a little bit.
6k damage up on Bang. 6k damage up on PowerOfEvil. I think that's pretty impressive. Anyway.
Give me another fun one. You got
Bang has a
another
bunch
one?
of Syndra.
Do I have another fun one? Another fun one. Who do you think's done the most damage to turrets in this game?
Not Shelly.
It's a player. It's a player.
Okay.
Turtle. Turtle's the only one who can hit turrets reliably.
There you go. It is Turtle, and Turtle has done 4.2k damage. The next highest across either team is only 1.2k. So Turtle is crushing turrets. 3k more damage to turrets than anyone else.
All right.
How about that one, Mark?
That one I liked. It was
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Well, it seems like the issues have been resolved, and people have had enough of my unexpected Shepherd-Dash stats. So with those issues resolved, we're going to toss it
3
back
out of
over
10
to the
fun.
casters for Game 3.
All right, thank you very much, Dash, Mark, and everyone else. Kobe, I have a fun fact for you. Who is my favorite co-caster?
Is it me?
It's you!
Oh
It's
my-
you, Kobe!
I'm getting
I
heart
would-
palpitations there. I was worried.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I wasn't gonna say anything else, even if you know anything else. Of course, yes, there was a chrono break. It is basically rewinded 5 seconds from when the connectivity happened. So we're gonna get into the game very, very shortly. Playing out the game, it'll look the same. There's stuff behind the scenes that aren't really relevant. League of Legends is happening very shortly. It's gonna be exciting, and we are into the game. It's gonna be good stuff. The only downside is there's going to be different audio because of those behind-the-scene points. So enjoy no game audio. In about 4 minutes, we'll have game audio back, and it'll be fine. Zeyzal not going for the ult play into the bot lane. This is live, and Solo is forced to flash away to stay alive right here. Once again, the game state Evil Genius is up just a few hundred gold, but looking like they have a fair bit of pressure down here. Problem is, no one was yet answering PowerOfEvil, so the top lane turret's going to get hit hard.
Exactly. They're going to get more gold right out of this turret. Teleport is ready for PowerOfEvil as well. And you already see the rotation from mid lane. So while they make evasive maneuvers on the bottom side, they get everybody out. Turtle and IgNar pushed in mid lane and then are able to come take the rest of this blue quadrant of the jungle in addition to that tower that FlyQuest did get.
So look at this. FlyQuest right now up in gold right now. Down a Drake, but it's not the worst thing in the world as we look back at the game state and where everyone is going around these lanes. Bot lane going to be answered finally by Goldenglue, but is dropping some farm. Also a very defensive build. Banshee's Veil second item, about 100 MR and change in that build. Shouldn't be an easy target for PoE, but if they can poke off that Banshee's Veil, he is still killable by all the physical damage on the FlyQuest lineup.
Yeah, he's probably worried about all the different forms of quick engage, Ashe arrows, Rakan coming through, stuff like that, long range Syndra stuns even. Huni is going to use his ultimate just as his rage bar whiffs, but doesn't really matter. It was timing out anyway. Up on the top side is the more important part because they're setting up around vision around this Baron and trying to get the push back.
Yeah, also double block cleaver right now on the EG lineup here. Obviously, I really like cooldown reduction stacking on Senna overall, but it means they are really trying to knock down the frontline armor so that the rest of the physical damage dealers can do well. Huni, of course, as we mentioned, yes, big advantage over against Solo's matchup is not easy at all for the Renekton. Frozen Mallet in for Huni means if Solo ever messes up, he just dies by getting run down by the slows. Huni back to Mega Gnar, wants to kite back a little bit as he doesn't know when the rest of the teammates are coming, but now the TP play. Ulti is up in about 2 seconds, finds a slow, but the ulti wasn't yet up to play when he was in melee range of Solo. He's about a second or two off, but still this could be a play. Svenskeren's going to run fast. He can dunk into the wall. He can at least find the first stun, and they're not going to go for anything more than that. No kill going to come through on a Solo. He will walk away safely, not even burning a flash.
Definitely miscommunication there. Yeah, because the ult was used earlier at the tower. Few seconds off means everything. If you start channeling teleport first, scares off the Renekton. He gets out alive, and nothing comes of that rotation from Evil Geniuses. Now they're kind of stuck in this jungle with IgNar, Turtle, both looking for possibilities of locking somebody down.
Drake's still 2 minutes away, so it's not going to be the play just yet, but at least they're playing over this blue buff right now. Evadinus is feeling a lot more comfortable in this game. Gold back to tied, blue buff being started, and can they hand it off to Goldenglue? Should be able to. Easy QW, easy pick up there, and no problems on that side of the map as the sad little blue buff soul will go unclaimed by Bang. Still scaling up. Muramana is done. That's a nice one to see. Black Cleaver, as we mentioned, already gone there as well. And Bang, one of the players who actually goes Berserker Greaves on the Senna. I am partial to the increased move speed of Swifties, but you do get some returns out of gaining more attack speed. Not a lot. Senna has very, very poor attack speed scaling, but you do feel it. It is a bit faster, and it is a small DPS increase.
Yeah, I actually think Shakeris has a pretty good video recently that had a visual for the auto attack windups to get you a feel for it. Obviously, pro players really do like the feel with it since her auto attack windup is so long. For setting up for this dragon fight, though, some key things have come in with the item spikes, and we're talking about, oh, this Rakan's job is so difficult for IgNar. But with the Zhonya's here, now he's got a little bit more safety when he does hard commit to one of these super deep flanks, trying to get behind the opponent. So he can go really aggressively, try and get the good engage for the team to allow Solo and Santorin better ways into the fight.
So
we do have an Ashe arrow hitting right before the pause.
So that was the moment, I believe, that we were rolling back from. So that was the roll. That was everything up into the chrono break where people were saying connectivity issues was, hey, I'm Bang. I'm a former 2-time world champion. I can flash Ashe arrows, not in a straight line. My understanding is all players reporting this sort of delay. So we're going about 4 seconds back from that. And then when we come back on screen, it'll be the live game post-chrono break. Here we are, actual live gameplay. We are on for the rest of it.
All right, let's get to it then. 17 seconds left on this Dragon FlyQuest with the inside track. Once again, need to mark IgNar here. Svenskeren did a good job last time looking for him. They usher up the mid wave. And Solo with a fully charged bar on the top side gets a big stun.
Yeah, big damage there onto Huni. He's going to be pretty low. Thankfully, Senna can get that back a little bit, but Mountain Drake is on the board, and Huni still has to build up some rage. So auto attack over the wall, cues it as well, trying to get that built up. More healing coming through from the Senna, and still 3k health on the Drake. If there's time to do it, it is before Mega Gnar can be had, but they're playing it a little bit slowly. Huni about to be Mega, can't get over the wall in time. Good smite, good pickup there. Santorin claims Drake number 2. FlyQuest now tie that score. And without Huni able to get Mega Gnar in time, there is no real engaged threat, and EG can only push in the mid lane. Now, this could still be pretty good. They have the inside track. They've got this turret at 60% health, but they will not go any further. They will not try to knock that one down. Instead, ooh, it is Solo on the wrong side of the play. He can try to TP in the brush, but there is vision. Thankfully for him, though, there are no recall stops. There's no way to stop that one. Sorry, teleport stops, as Gnar cannot stun, and out he goes with only Burning Summoner teleport.
So the positioning before this setup was so big for FlyQuest getting there first, having brush advantage, and simply this fully charged Renekton combo in the brush, setting up extra damage over the wall from Syndra as well, bursting down Huni, just means that FlyQuest are able to further stave off the possible dragon stacking here for EG. I think that was a really big dragon fight for them, even though no kills go over.
All right, so Bang going to go back into the mid lane and keep the farm going. Decent CS onto him, but WildTurtle at 270 is a great clip. PowerOfEvil right behind that one as well. Goldenglue the same, so good farm on 3 of the carries in this game. A slightly more defensive role, of course, for Bang, going towards rapid fire cannon to get that first auto attack off. That can, of course, be very valuable. And you really do have good upfront damage on Senna, and just barely not catching the recall out of IgNar. That could have been the chance at a kill, or at least a flash burned away. End of the day won't mean much. Bang comes to give his champions some movement speed, turn them into wraiths for a second, but no place to be had but wave clear in the mid lane.
Yeah, they've got plenty of cooldowns to use as well. WildTurtle has the Hawk Shot. They've got both Scryers available for them, so they don't have to get worried at all here right now for FlyQuest, even though EG can walk on and stick around this Baron. They have plenty of stuff to check it, even with that Scuttle Crab and Svenskeren being the only one they saw walk in, still using one of them.
Well, again, the play is around the mid lane as Santorin and Solo walk up to knock this one down. A little bit of a slow, not going to mean too much, but it puts Guardian on cooldown, which is a minor benefit in case it's a fight right away. Huni running back up the river. Current ward controls with FlyQuest. They took down the Scuttle about 50 seconds ago. Timing out soon. And mid lane is cleared back by Bang there as well, waiting for his recall. Doesn't have money for RFC, so not taking the recall just yet until he has that money. He's got enough mana he can play around the map. Obviously full health, no big deal for him. Stun is going to land. Decent damage out of PowerOfEvil. Still not going to stop anyone, though, and Bang is back to hitting minions.
I feel like they should be having Huni split pushing right now, though. His teleport is up. He's got the frozen mallet build, so when you invest into that and you're slow, that's a lot more beneficial for your 1v1s in the side lane, chasing down the Renekton. You've got extra speed with your hyper, with your fleet footwork, and since you have the slow from your frozen mallet, you can keep the Renekton at distance. So all that maneuvering here around mid, I think they should have got him pushing a little bit earlier. He is there now if you look at the side wave, so should be able to get it up, and it is a reset. They're buying their extra control wards so that their other 4-man group on the other part can actually pull pressure away from him and allow him to try and get that extra damage.
My guess, Kobe, was he was letting minions die as the bot lane is stacking up towards his own turret. Ooh, that's a shock. That's a big play towards Santorin. They're over the wall. They're going for the chase down. His ulti has been burned. He has flash if he needs it, and he's going to get away. Ulti not going to land. He flash ulted and got Santorin's ult to get away from that one. So can't blame the chance of the cooldown. Can't blame the chance of the kill. But now there is a flashless, ultiless Volibear forced to heal back inside the base.
And honestly, the flash and ult for Gnar, definitely a bit bigger impact for the team fights. But those two being traded there, Santorin, good use to get himself out of there with the escape. I still think Huni can be extremely useful to the team if they do work around the rage bar. The teleport now giving you the extra speed coming in is really big, and he's level 16 now, but he does have to start charging up his rage a little bit beforehand.
A little bit of poke from Huni, trying to stack up the rage a bit there. IgNar walking forward, not going to land that boomerang yet. Still 50 seconds on the Drake. Big damage towards Zeyzal, not quite going to land on a bang, though. First Ashe arrow I've seen miss from Turtle in quite a while, to be honest. And now, here comes the engage. The attempted play, a knock up there. Zeyzal has to burn the QSS, gets away, gets a shield, gets to stay alive. Re-engage coming in, dunk out of the backline, hits on a 3. Big stun comes across, Senna over the top as well. And EG want this fight. Can they kill Santorin? They're going to get IgNar first. Solo in the backline, gets 1 kill. He is right in the front and kites right back out. 4v4 in this fight. Double root comes in, but not enough for a kill. EG back to the mid lane. Their health bars can be sustained back up by the Senna. And to keep in mind that this Drake spawns in 20 seconds. Who's going to be healthy enough to do this one? Right now, EG could push in for mid, but they want to answer Drake as well. Which way do they go with this one? They're going to leave mid alone. They're going to play for the Drake instead when they could have gotten mid lane tier 2. They want to wait around, but Solo, keep in mind, he has a rage bar. He's level 16, no ulti, but a lot of stats on him. Not going to find the roots. Going to force Solo to back off and go into towards his Drake. As Santorin comes back onto the map, IgNar has respawned. The same's going to happen to Huni in 18 seconds. A very desynced recall. Very desynced respawn. Now look at the Drake right now. It's a 4v4, but soon the 5th will be here as into the front line goes the jungler, goes for the smite steal, cannot grab it, and it's a 2 for 0 if you count the Drake as a kill. WildTurtle, of course, on the board with that one, and now IgNar is there. EG could have gotten mid lane tier 2. Instead, they chose to die in the Drake pit.
Huni's alive now with his teleport available, but I think with the kill on the Svenskeren, it's just too big of a loss for EG, and they won't be able to punish at all. That was so big for FlyQuest. Smite landing as well as getting the kill here and being able to get out after the Orianna damage. Look at the setup here. All right, so once again, that arrow splits right between Zeyzal and Bang, so it doesn't get cooldowns out of either of them. And then they try and force because they want to get the recall from Orianna. There's the teleport starts channeling. IgNar gets the lockdown onto Bang and Zeyzal, but there's no damage there to follow up. So no damage during the CC means it's a good counter-engage opportunity for Svenskeren. Dunks right into the middle, and they get the big punish onto IgNar first, but Solo's Renekton can burst down Huni in the exchange. Then we get our 4v4 standoff.
MVP Syndra stun. Huni had Gnar. He had ulti available with it, but keep in mind, no flash from the attempt on Santorin. Means he had to walk forward to find an ult. PoE stunned him, flash W from Solo killed him off, and never did we see the Gnar ultimate. Sterix gauge is in, but by the way, that shield does not pop on Gnar. It is a melee-only shield. The chance to one-shot Gnar still exists for this team. Death Dance done for Solo, and I need to see more out of Huni's Gnar.
Yeah, so the Sterix, Huni has bought this for years on Gnar, and I know it's a super hot topic. As you said, doesn't work in mini, which is where you really want it. If you get burst down like we saw in the last fight. Oh,
easy cleanse. Out goes Zeyzal.
Huni is flanking, by the way, with 50% rage bar.
I think EG need this one. They need to try for this one. Huni getting the rage bar up pretty quickly. He's going to find himself a stun, but he's still going to be alive. Redemption there as well. He is available for Mega. When can he go in? When can he hop in and take down FlyQuest? That was the makings of a 3-man stun if he could get the hop in, but nothing comes through. He burned it to run away from Renekton, so there's no engage, and Gnar is timing out, and Huni unable to find anything with this pick. FlyQuest outplaying the Gnar bar every time, back to Mini.
Yeah, I think he was a bit worried about the distance to the rest of the team. He only had viable frontline targets, so a little bit scared there with the positioning of the rest of the team, and FlyQuest will take that opportunity. Baron started up. There is a teleport on Solo. Where's the deep wards?
They're going to need vision. They don't know if they're in the brush. They don't know if they're in the pit. It's still losing a lot of health. They've got to finally find out with 6k health left. Now FlyQuest pulling the teleport. When does the play begin? Huni once again needs to rebuild the Gnar bar. Needs to find Solo for some decent damage. And that's going to look good for the Gnar side of this one. The 4v4 in front of the Baron pit is not great for FlyQuest. They're still taking damage. They're losing resistance. They're losing health. EG can feel good, but Bang is low on mana. He's got most of that resource gone right now. Has to be very smart about when he presses other buttons. Can attack mid lane, but cannot regen meaningful mana right now. Can't really queue the wave because he would be unable to cast any spells in the team fight. And at the end of the day, look at the game state we are in. A 1,000 gold lead for FlyQuest. They are 2 minutes away from Mountain Soul. And EG have been lacking damage in these fights.
But now Huni's Flash will be available for EG. It is a small window before Turtles becomes available, but that is the one that you want to punish. Huni should be looking for his flank. Big Flash ultimate, not just onto frontline targets, onto the Ashe. So if they're tracking that cooldown, they have a small window to try and go for it before Turtles Flash comes up. I don't think that it is going to work out for their Dragon timing, so maybe they try and force something a bit earlier. You see them looking here. Huni doesn't really have super deep wards to teleport on, though, so probably going to have to walk his way over. And Turtle is about to get out of the danger zone when his Flash comes back up.
PoE 16, Banshesville, Deathcap, similar build. Nice stun. Here comes the almost attempt, but no play coming through just yet. Blue buff on PoE, that makes him feel really comfortable. 50 seconds on Mountain Drake. That is Soul for FlyQuest if they get it. Looking back in the mid lane, a little bit of damage towards Solo, but he is fine. Glacial does its best from Bang. Now another stun going to come through. Zeyzal, early QSS, might not have needed it, but regardless, he is once again unstunned. Solo going to look for the play around, but not going to find anything just yet. Santorin takes a bit of damage. Huni once again IgNar and has Flash. Can he find his way in once again? They've got about 5 seconds to make this play happen. Can they get in? IgNar getting a bit low. Huni, can he E-Flash? Can he make this play? He is nearby. Could have jumped over the PoE ball, but not going to find the play. Back to Mini. Once again, waiting for that cooldown to come back. Waiting for the bar to refill. It'll be 30 seconds away, though. Drake spawning in 15, and EG control the bottom side of the map. And they can send 1 to Drake and 4 to stop Baron. Svenskeren can just solo this Drake right now, and now they can contest. This feels like EG should at least contest. Right now, it is FlyQuest on the play. What's it going to look like? They are sending all 5 to defend. 5k health left on the Baron. They look at the control ward over the wall. They know what's going on. 4th health left. FlyQuest probably cannot stay inside the pit. They have to peel back. Solo wants in. Flashes. Look for Bang. Looks for the play. Good play by Zeyzal. Gets him right back out. But IgNar finds the charm. Shockwave only onto 1, and he will stay alive. Santorin is up for this one. Going to walk back. No problem. Baron will not hit him again. But the health bar lead is with Evil Geniuses. They survive the fight. They survive the Flash engage. And Drake is theirs for free if they want it.
Yep, FlyQuest tried to do that for us during the exhausted period for Gnar. Now, are they going to have another attempt here? Because once again, down to the Dragon Soul for FlyQuest, PowerOfEvil, and FlyQuest know that they don't have time to work with.
They're letting Huni solo what the rest of the team needs to come right back down. It's still a 5-on-5 overall. He's going to give up on the Drake and instead play for the fight. Ulti's, of course, missing for most of Evil Geniuses, missing for most of FlyQuest here as well. 5k health still left on the Baron. Santorin over the wall. Does have Flash, does have Smite, but no ulti. Would have to burn Summoners to get back into the pit other than that Blast Plant. And it will reset once again. Send Huni towards that Drake. Let him go do all the work. Let him knock that one down. Prevent Soul Point from being claimed by FlyQuest. Get yourself back to 3 as well. Really not under a bit of fire, not going to be knocked down. Blue buff handed over to Goldenglue, no problem there. EG, when can they make the play happen? Huni, close to IgNar. Hop backwards, though. Again, will not have the engage tools, but they might hem them in. Huni could look for a slow shockwave. Catches Turtle. They find some damage. Can they find the root? They will catch it. The Flash pulls it in, and here comes the dunk. Here comes the play. Is it enough? Svenskeren cannot get the kill, but there's the IgNar. It's a stun on a 3, and it's 3 kills picked up. Solo is on the run, and EG have finally turned the corner.
Goldenglue is able to tag him, and he's chasing down Solo, too. He's not done yet, Freak.
Oh, it's going to be dangerous. Learns the pull right back in. Healing back up out of the turret. 1Q will kill him, and they're going to get that kill of 4 for 0. And EG want to go for the base instead. 30-second respawn timers. It might be the Nexus itself. IgNar against the world for 20 seconds till Santorin comes back up, and EG want to pull a game back in this series. The Baron dance lasted about 3 minutes. They finally got the team fight. IgNar can't cut him away in time. Gonna go for the charm, gonna go for the knockup, but there are still no respawn timers. Turret number 1 is gone. Turret number 2 is next. And evil geniuses have started the comeback. They will knock down the Nexus and take a game in this best of 5.
EG do it at the very breaking point. It was so close. FlyQuest setting up for a Mountain Soul for themselves. Turtle had flash there, gets tagged, they draw him back, and then the snare lands, so even though he flashes after that, still snared in place for when the Senna snare procs, and they chase them down for EG. What a close one. Series on the line.
Yeah.
And they make that play.
They make the play, well done to them. This felt like the first game where EG were not at a significant disadvantage just from the draft phase, and lo and behold, a close game became an end game victory. Statistically, throughout the regular season, FlyQuest have had better mid to late game shot calling. They've closed games out from bigger deficits and smaller leads. At the end of the day, EG need to keep this level of play going where they can play it close. They can get kills on Santorin, finally ruining his KDA, having it by the end there, and then coming out with a win at the end of the day. So 2 more to go, though. Side selection for FlyQuest. We'll see if they want blue side back or if they're liking the blue-red the way it is. EG chose blue, so did FlyQuest when they had the options. We'll see if that turns around. Either way, 2 more to go for EG. 2 chances for FlyQuest to get into the next round and face Team Liquid or Cloud9. We'll see what happens. Now, of course, the series is alive, and after the break, the State Farm Analyst will break down how that happened, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the LCS. We've got ourselves a series, 2-1 now. Still FlyQuest leading over Evil Geniuses, but a nice strike back in that one. A close, contentious game when we hit that pause point about 20 minutes in. But, Jens, what we had set up was that Evil Geniuses, with the scaling on their side, had the opportunity and the time to find the fights that they would need to ultimately get it, and they found exactly that late in the game.
Yeah, it was still really close, though. They had to play them well. Managing that Gnar bar was one of the things that we highlighted as they need to do this correctly or they could lose the game. This is the one fight that they lost, and it is explicitly because Gnar was not able to get Mega right before this fight started, and Solo did a great job flashing in, making sure to actually kill him right before he goes Mega. Bar hits red, and he goes to fall up and kill him.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful scout of the week to set it up as well by PowerOfEvil. He lands that, the immediate flash in from Solo there, and that was what won them the fight. And FlyQuest, was able to skirmish very well around a lot of these dragons, but, the clock was kind of ticking for them, and over time, EG got into a better and better position, and they were able to eventually find these fights. Such a good shockwave there from Goldenglue, barely pulling in pulling in WildTurtle, and once he gets the route onto multiple members there, everyone flies in. Svenskeren goes in, Huni gets Mega Gnar, 3-man stun against the wall, and they just got completely run over.
It's super touch and go, though. That was after an extended Baron dance, which is, I think, highlighting some of the strengths of EG's comp there with the Senna able to top them off. Bang, like you said, landed the good E as well. They have the ults for big shields, the Orianna. Like, they're going to do better in those kind of extended situations, and they finally found the right look.
Yeah, okay, so the right look. Let's dive into a little bit more of what that is. How do we define what is the right look for Evil Geniuses, and is this exact pattern repeatable for them across 2 more games to take the series?
It's tough. Yeah, go ahead, Brawley.
I think a lot of things that happened that game were, I don't know how they can replicate it, but it worked out really well. Like, for instance, Santorin not getting first blood was great. They actually first blooded Santorin, so this gave Huni a lot better chance in the lane. And I know we saw like the Herald whoopsie and stuff like that, but I do think that EG playing some kind of longer range composition is going to favor them a lot. They had the Ori, they had the Gnar, so they outranged the opponent. So when you saw them dancing around mid and eventually fighting there, that wasn't like they're fighting over nothing. They're fighting over mid control, because once you lose that, you get access to the Drake, access to the Baron. So the fact that they have these kind of, not necessarily poke champions, but the Orianna, the Gnar being able to keep people away from them while doing damage, I think is a good way to play against FlyQuest.
Yeah, I think that EG kind of figured out some answers for what they want to draft, but you can't control if FlyQuest drafts more early game stuff again, right? That's what's out of their hands. It could be FlyQuest going, Corki or an Orianna, something more late game in the hands of PowerOfEvil. Maybe we get an Ornn instead of a Renekton, things that are going to scale more in the top lane. But I do think, as far as Huni's concerned, especially, I think that the Gnar was a good answer. This gave him something where he can have some lane presence. He could theoretically win through side lane. He could still affect team fights. And I think this showed that EG doesn't need to just all in on something cheesy. They can actually play for a scaling composition, but they still can't control FlyQuest going early game again and just try to wait them out.
Yeah, at the same time, I think there are some things that they should look to repeat. Like, yeah, you can't force Santorin to make a bad gank, but you can try and craft a level 1 to go find him early or shut him down, push him off the buff if you have a stronger level 1 comp or something. I think they can try to put more focus on Santorin. If he is kind of the linchpin of the early game, then put more effort into knocking him off and slowing him down a little bit. At the same time, they tried to play around Huni a lot this game, and it didn't actually work out that well. But I think that can actually be a positive point that, like, hey, we didn't even play well around topside. We inted one of our Rift Heralds away and stuff like that, and we could still win that game. So to Zeyzal's point about, like, finding things that can do what Gnar can do, and I think there's a lot of things that they should look to repeat from this game, even if the exact way that it's going to go can't be the same.
Always finding those silver linings. Attacking the jungle early is an interesting suggestion, because FlyQuest has been the team so far in this series to generally benefit from the strong early, like, level 1 strategies. But side selection is in. FlyQuest, with the option this time around, has elected to go back to blue side. So how do we expect this to warp champion select?
This frees up a ban for FlyQuest, because now they can go for the Caitlyn first pick again. I know that's what they did earlier. And on red side, they had to ban it because I think they're afraid of the combination of, Kate Morg and stuff like that, Kate Thresh. So I do think it gives them a free ban. And I think they could probably use that to, maybe deal with one of the champions that they're not really happy with. I know, like, the GP and Rumble are still coming through in bans and stuff like that. So they might go back to that.
It's really interesting because this feels like a meta where there's not OP picks that you need to ban. We're seeing first pick Caitlyn's. This game had a first pick Sett, which just got nerfed and isn't even like that insane. Maybe there are ones that they'll discover later on the patch, like maybe Hecarim just flies up in priority at some point. But as of right now, even looking at the series yesterday where Golden Guardians was triple banning Bjerg in the first half, like this is definitely one where you can look at Santorin and go, man, Santorin's really annoying. I'm EG, triple ban Santorin's champions. What are you going to do? Like, I think that...
Get that Trundle ban in there.
Yeah, Trundle, get rid of Volibear, get rid of Sett. What does Santorin play? I think you're in the kind of meta where you can start asking these questions.
He's checkmated when those are gone.
It's like the amazing one from Season 5. He's like, there's only 3 champs you need to play.
Right.
But we banned all of them.
Well, at least Santorin hasn't revealed that to anyone himself just yet. Azale, your thoughts on champ select?
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of like it, right? I think it's actually really boring to watch pick and ban when it's like, well, on red side, you must ban the Rengar and the Akali, right? And you just kind of go through this cycle of like, yeah, here are the guaranteed bans on red side. Then this team bans the guaranteed bans on the other side because you either want to trade a power pick or you don't, whatever. I actually like it when it's kind of a bit more unsolved like this, or maybe it's just that there's so many champions that are at the same tier that you can focus more on like individual weaknesses in player champion pool, that you can focus on shutting down a superstar player, or exposing a weakness with your mismatch in a certain area. Like I think that's actually really cool. I think that requires more thought and creativity as far as pick ban goes, and it also requires a more intelligent response from your opponent, right? If you're getting constantly banned out in a certain way, you have to figure out a way to protect that, right? It's like, okay, your top laner is getting 5 bans against him. How are you going to protect him? Okay, well, then you have to do well in the jungle 2v2. So let's ban out their jungle pool and get a power pick there, right? Like, it requires a little bit more creative thinking, which is something that I think is really, really fun to watch.
I totally agree. And I think we've already seen it even within the series itself, right? From game 1 to game 2 to game 3, there's been a lot of reactive picks, the Swains and the Gallios, and then now we've, gone to the Syndras and the Oriannas in the mid lane. And so I'm very curious to see what's going to be brought out here in game 4 with FlyQuest coming back to the blue side. Now, Evil Geniuses did pick up game 3, rather. We'll see if they can tie up the series when we return for game 4 after this.